Hi. Okay, so I cloth diaper. Not all cloth diapers are the same. I personally love anything with all the snaps down the front because you can make them smaller and they can be larger. So when I first started diapering my first one, she was 1 month old and she was 10'2" when she was born. And then my son, I cloth diapered pretty much from birth. He was in the NICU, so I obviously didn't bring them up and do it in there. But when he was out and at home, we did it at home. So these, you can make very small on the waist. Now it's still a little bit of a gap over here. So depending on how thin the thighs are, this size might not work for you. Now they do make preemie size cloth diapers, but I did not purchase those because like I said, I had a 10'2" and an 8'13" baby. So I was not, and if they were that small, I was just gonna use the disposable diapers, especially in the first couple weeks when they're going like 15 times a day. So there's that. My favorite brands are Baby Goal, Anma, A-N-M-A, baby, or what is this one? Alva, or Alva Baby. Why? Because they all have all the snappy options. Because then you can make it big, you can make it small. Also, these double snaps, you don't just use them to like make the waist small. That way, whenever you're wadding up the dirty diaper, it actually snaps and holds still like a disposable diaper. The other thing is like, decide why you're doing cloth diapers. Is it environmental purposes? Is it money purposes? Is it sensitivity? I thought about doing it to save money with my first, but then she broke out to like 3 or 4 different diaper types, like full rash. And so we switched over to this and that significantly helped. And look how big the diapers can get. Okay. I do not like the diapers with this on the side. Let me tell you why. Because when they poop, it is so very difficult to get everything out of here. Now, it is possible, but I have to like spread it like this and use my sprayer. That's the other thing. I have a bidet, the sprayer bidet hooked up to my back toilet. And so that's where we'll spray out the poopy diapers. And then in our laundry room, we have a utility sink put in. And I had my husband put in a bidet sprayer in there too. So it's high powered going into that sink to like spray out any little particles. I'm not putting down whole turds, just small particles in there. And then we clean the sink out every time that we do that. I also rinse my diapers. I'll get to the washing later. So then there's different types of inserts. Those are also not all the same. Now, whenever you buy them off of like Amazon, some of them come with inserts. So like these type, I like the ones with, what is this, ribbing? I don't know, whatever. This I like because they're very absorbent. I don't love this kind. I honestly don't. It doesn't feel as absorbent. It's very soft. Charcoal is absolutely wonderful. It doesn't smell, like you're able to get the smell out of them much, much easier than these. It's much more sensitive on their skin, even though these are all like, I'm assuming cotton, I don't really know. Some of them are bamboo. I do like the bamboo inserts too, but nothing, okay? Although, you also wash them, so you also don't smell it. Anyways, I love these. Now, some people, when they're putting in the inserts, when they were tiny, I would do one. Well, with my girl, I did one. With my son, I pretty much always did 2, because with a girl, the pee can go all, like it spreads when they pee and they're wearing it. But with the boy, it's just right there. So I would double them up. You don't have to, but I do, because I don't want them to pee through their clothing either. So I put them on top. I put 1 or 2 on top like this, and then wrap the child. Although they have this pouch here so that you can stuff it. Now, my issue with the stuffing. So if you stuff it, right, when you wash it, you're gonna have to yank it all out, which is fine, absolutely fine. But I have a ton of these, and I still have a bunch of these too, but I have less of these compared to the number of these. So when they were first born and they would pee just a little bit, I could throw this into the washing bucket even if this was not wet. Like if they had just had like a little bit of poop on it and it didn't soak through to this. If the bottom of this wasn't wet, if this was still completely dry. Because, you know, at the beginning, they go a lot. So that's one of the reasons I put them on top. And then also the stuffing, you can do it, but I just feel like it holds the pee better with it being on top. But once again, that's just what I've done for the last 4 years, is layering them on top. Now, these with the elastic, this is a Pampers Pure. So they have different sizes on this, which is cool. So you can get it down all the way to an extra small as you're pulling this. Okay, small. Hold on. Anyways, my issue with these is that this material is very soft, but it doesn't, these seem to leak more than these brands do. The Pampers Pure seem to leak more. And just because it gets tighter around the little thigh, like that's nice. But these are a lot harder to clean, and then this. So when they're tiny and you're trying to spray it out, you have to like literally hold your hand, spread everything out, and then spray whatever it is out. So not my favorite, but anything with all the snaps is my preference. And the wings, I need to have 3 snaps because I have some that have 2 and then they end up just like falling down. So I don't love those, but these are my favorite. And this one is a relatively new one. This one, okay, I've had this one since my daughter was born. So 4 years of being used. And you still see how clean that is? Okay. Now, wet bags. Wet bags are also not all the same. Did I only get 2 wet bags? Okay. Some of the character ones are very cute, but look at how thin that is. And this had that like plasticky, rubbery lining in it, which is fine, but it's gone. Okay. This, I love what is this? Is this a Texas Tush Babies? Texas, that's a good brand. Anyway, so this, I like one with a zipper on it. Because even if you think that you don't have bugs in the house, you can get bugs in the house. And flies, all it takes is 1 fly in the house. So I like one with a zipper for that reason. Also, ointments are not the same. Because my kids were so sensitive to everything, zinc oxide on an already broken out bottom, any actual sores on my kid, if I put zinc oxide on it, their butt would get so much worse. And let me show you what zinc oxide does to the cloth diapers. Do you see that? It like literally ate through part of the diaper. Do what? Anyways, so use whatever you want, but I love A&D or just pure Vaseline. A&D is like lanolin and petroleum. So I would do Vaseline and lanolin, or because I got a ton of that when I was breastfeeding, or just this A&D, and it's so much gentler on their skin than this, but you do you. Now, washing. Some people bleach them. Absolutely, you bleach it if you want to. If I bleached them, so I wash my diapers 2 times before I put them in the dryer. I also only wash my diapers about every 4 days, and a lot of people say that you should do it every day. If I have to wash diapers every single day, I'm not cloth diapering. So I'm not gonna do it. So I do it about every 4 days. I did it about every 3 days when both kids were briefly in diapers at the same time. But I do it about every 4 days now. that I only have one kid in diapers. And then I've got like a 5-gallon bucket in the laundry room that I just put the bag of diapers in. And then whenever it's full, that's when we wash the diapers, but it usually takes about 3 or 4 days. So anytime I put bleach, I rinse them out in the sink, rinse the pee out in the sink, and then I put them in the washing machine. And then I do a rinse and spin. So no detergent, just a rinse and spin. And then I do a wash with OxyClean. And then I do on cold, because if you do hot, the odors can lock in. The odors and the stains can lock in. I do on hot OxyClean, double rinse cycle, and then I do a second cycle cold with baking soda and vinegar. Vinegar helps the absorbency of things. So I don't do vinegar every time. Sometimes I just do baking soda, and then every couple washes I do baking soda and vinegar, or you can do it both times. It doesn't really matter. But like with washing my clothes regularly, because they're so sensitive to everything, I do the washing soda, borax, and baking soda combo on our clothes, and that's just what we do, is a tablespoon into the washer. So the kids are already used to this more sensitive stuff anyways. But yeah, because I have bleached them, and I'll do it, I don't know, maybe once a year I'll bleach all the diapers. I probably bleached them 6-7 times. But like I said, I have to wash them like another 3 times after I bleach, because when they will pee on the diaper, even though you bleach it and then you wash it without bleach, like 2 times before you dry it, it will break their entire bottoms out. So just, my kids are just extra sensitive to stuff. So that being said, I'm not even using like powerful detergent, you know what I mean? And they still don't stink. But I dry these in the dryer on hot. These I hang to dry. Now you can dry them, but that's going to reduce, this says no bleach, no softeners. Oh yeah, because if you use fabric softener, that actually prevents, it deters absorbency, and it messes with like the, whatever this liner thing is. I hang dry these, and anytime that it's absolutely warm outside that I can, I'm hanging them outside to dry. So they're getting heat from the sun, like antibacterial properties, or I don't know, whatever, you know, the sun. I hang them up to dry. And that's how they've lasted so long, with literally 4 years of using these. I have pictures of Deej in these. Also, I do use regular wipes, but I use cloth wipes. I love Marley's Monsters, so that's where I've gotten some. Of course, if you've got a sewing machine and you got some flannel, you can just do a little serger or a little zigzag stitch around the edges. So it took me forever to find a white box, but I fold them up and I put them in here, and then these are dry. But because I've used, this one's currently my tissue box. But I'll put some water in here, just water. And then as you need them, you just use them like regular old wipes. And it's not a big deal because you're already having to spray the pee and the poop out of those. So it's not that big a deal for these either. But these, I can say, I don't know what these are dyed with, but if you put these with bleach, wrecks them, absolutely wrecks them. I mean, holes, that's not a very good, but you see like that little smudge of white? Yeah, no. And I'm talking diluted bleach. Anyways, I don't know. I hope that was helpful. If you have any more questions, let me know. Yeah.